Welcome to Rom Wills, Money Matters. Business to business enterprises. Business to business enterprises. Now, I was about to call it business to business businesses, but that would have sounded kind of weird. But what's a business to business enterprise? Very simply, it's a business that doesn't sell to the general public at all, doesn't interact with the general public. It's a business that sells directly to other businesses. That's strictly what they do. Now, I've talked about a lot of stuff with businesses that deal with the customers and the community. And that's primarily because that's where I'm at. But business to business is when you selling products that support that business. A great example is the restaurant business. Now, you go in there, and of course, people see the surface of it. They see the people serving food and all of that. But where did the restaurants get the food? Well, they probably got it from farms. They probably got it from food processing plants, a bunch of places like that. Those businesses, whether it's the farm, the food processing plant, food manufacturer, they selling directly to the businesses. They don't sell to the public. They don't advertise to the public. They sell directly to the restaurant. And then when you look at the, you got the takeout places, or whether it's a sit-down place or a takeout place, or sometimes a lot of them are both. Okay, those restaurants, they need silverware. They need dishes. They need furniture. They need, styrofoam, like plastic spoons and forks, styrofoam cups and everything of that nature. All of it is selling directly to the business. They don't interact with the public. The public don't even know these businesses exist. But these businesses are very dependent on having the customers that's going to buy their products. If you go in a grocery store, you get customers. You got stuff in there. They not selling to the direct public. The grocery store is, but they selling directly to the stores. In the last podcast, I talked about when I was, dealing with some book distributors and stuff. These book distributors do not sell directly to the public. In fact, in the Baltimore area. Now, I don't know if this is a book distributor. I don't know if they still at that same location. With all the gentrification and moving around, I need to check on that. But it was funny, if you went to their warehouse, it didn't look like anything out on the street, didn't have a sign or anything. You just had to know it was there. Somebody joked one time, it was like going to a crack house because they had a little peephole they can look out. But once you went in, it was nothing but books. They didn't deal with the general public. And there's a lot of businesses like that. That's actually a very good business. Honestly, I'm surprised I hadn't talked about it before now. Those are good things. If you had something that supplies a business. For example, say you have hair products. You don't have to deal with the public at all. It'd be kind of smart if you did through vending, but that's another conversation. But sometimes you might just say you create the product and just sell it directly to the stores. Those are business to business, and that's actually very prominent. People don't realize how prominent it is. So your client isn't just some Joe Schmo off the street. Your client is that business itself. And indeed, I'm going to tell you how deep that is. During these past lockdowns, a lot of the suppliers were affected as well. There wasn't anybody to sell their product. With the stores shut down, if the store was closed, then they not paying for more product. They ain't paying for more product. That affects something else. There were a lot of manufacturers affected by that. And manufacturers, that's actually, now that I say manufacturers, that's a prominent business to business. Very few manufacturers of anything have a direct outlet. Now, some do, because you hear about factory outlets and everything. They selling directly to the public. But one thing I found with that is they don't always advertise it. It'll be in some weird place, too. Not in a well-traveled place. Like, it's rare you're going to find them in a mall. Yeah, you got outlet malls, but let's just say the outlet malls. Let me just say something about that real quick. When you get clothes there, they sell it at stores owned by the actual manufacturer. So they don't have to like charge you for markups or anything. They can sell it to you at a better price. But shoot, that's business to business, really, if you think about it. Their own business. But that's the thing. And I'm going to tell you what, that's a business, any type of business where you actually supplying another business, that's a very good thing. That's a very good thing. You don't have to deal with the nuances of customers or, they might not like something. They give you a bad rating or something like that. So it's good. It's good in that way. And when you're dealing with somebody business-wise, it stays just that. All you need to do is have a good product because they're selling it again anyway. They're not using it for personal use. So that's a good thing. Only bad thing is if that business doesn't do well, you're in trouble. That's the only real bad thing, because you need the business itself, a business outside of yourself, to do well. Like, let me use an example that I use with book distributors. Now, this particular one in the Baltimore area, they had an outlet store. They had a store. They had a store connected. The owner owned the distribution place and the bookstore. But if you think about like other distributors, like a lot of you had some book distributors, smaller book distributors, that got really messed up back in the day when they started going to ebooks and Amazon. Because they didn't have the place to sell this stuff. Because I actually thought about being a book distributor, but then I said, okay, it's not the number of bookstores around, independent bookstores, that I would deal with. And yeah, you get some bookstores, they started to make a comeback, but that could still be tough. So that's the thing, though. But you're dependent. That's the only thing. You're dependent on the other people. So you gotta be like, well, I hope they're doing something. Now, say you do get into a business where you doing, you selling just directly to business to business sales. One of the things that you would need to do your due diligence, even more so than just knowing what your customers are, because you can adapt to your customers. You need to actually study the business. You need to study the nuances, and then you need to be able to check out the businesses themselves and making sure they make money. You need to be sharp on that. And some business-to-business enterprises are like that. They checking out the business itself because, well, that's your way of making money. They got to make sales in order for you to make sales. But if you check out the business and they having some issues, you might need to be like, or set it up so that they just buy the stuff. It's like, okay, you deal with it then. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff, but it's something that you definitely can look into. Especially, like, you get some people, like a lot of businesses definitely deal with customer service and all of that. But you know, for whatever reason, you might not be a people person like that, or be in a position right away to hire people to be like that. But when you're dealing with businesses, straight business, and all you have to do is have a product for them. So it's something to think about. Oh, real quick, you can also provide services. Like I've known some people who've provided services like computer type of services for businesses. I know someone like that, you know, and so they providing a service. They're not dealing with the customers directly. They're dealing with the businesses. So it's something that can be lucrative if you tap into the right business network. Remember what I was talking about in the last podcast. All right. So I want y'all to think about that and get back with y'all later. Peace and blessings.